So again, my name is Eric Auger with American Business Systems. I'm here as the Director of Research and Development, and certainly want to be able to welcome you here this afternoon. But as we go through this quick introduction, some of you, this is your first time to ever know about American Business Systems, and just to let you know that we've been around for 24 years. Our main focus has always been upon helping folks just like you throughout the country, from every walk of life, from whether you're young or old or whatever background you come from, because our billing platform that we have that we're going to show you a little bit today is the leading web-based billing service that's out there. We'll go through some more of that this afternoon as well. Folks, this is just a quick shot of our training workshop that we've got actually coming up very soon. We host these training workshops every 6 to 7 weeks apart, and we'd love for you to be able to join us at one of our next ones that we have coming up. I'm going to introduce to you our founder and the CEO of our company, Linda and Patrick Phillips. Patrick will be joining me this afternoon on the webinar to help us through this. Not only is he the CEO of our company, but he's the chairman of the board of the Medical Revenue Management Association of America. He is also an author of several books and magazines that I'll show you here real quickly. He's on the editorial board of the Billing and Coding Advantage magazine, as you can see here. And these books that he has authored, and got some more coming up, but the one that we're going to be talking about today will be the one that you see there in the middle, the new thriving medical practice. So without any further ado, I'm going to ask Patrick to join me on the video, and make sure that you're unmuted so as you come on board, we can get started here and hear your voice as we get started. Thanks so much, Patrick.
Appreciate that so much, Eric. Folks, this one's going to be fast and furious. I mean by that is we're going to try to give you a complete picture, an overview. This webinar, you want to be sure and save the recording of it, or at least go back and watch it. It may be something you want to share with a partner or a spouse, because I'm going to try to give you the entire picture of this business opportunity and what we can do for you here at ABS by using this technology. So, you know what, Eric? I just am amazed at how many people who go to our website really don't realize, the huge need that's out there for medical billing.
Right. Yeah, it's huge, and I'm sure that as people start doing their due diligence, they're going to find that what's going to help them is the solutions that we have to provide to the doctors.
That's right. And so I'm starting with this picture of me and my family, as you can see a few years back. That's like in the 80s, when my wife actually started doing medical billing for a friend of ours who owned a durable medical equipment company. He asked her if she knew how to do medical billing. She said, no, but I can learn. So he brought her into the office, and Eric, literally, it was 2 days at the most, and she was doing his billing for him. I mean, it's not, we kid about this, but it's not brain surgery, Right. Anybody can learn to do the actual work. The hardest part about any business, of course, is getting clients, and we, of course, have that covered. We've done it for 24 years now and taught people all the secrets that we know about that. And so, Eric, do I need to maybe give you the keyboard? You think I'm seeing a little movement there, and I don't know if that's going to take it away or not, but anyway. So I show that picture because that was back in the 80s, like I said, and then, of course, eventually we got out of the medical billing business ourselves because we didn't want to compete with our licensees. And so we started offering it to people all across the country, and we've done that again for 24 years now. Here's a great quote I wanted to start with, because this is from Medical Economics magazine. Good magazine, by the way, to Google and maybe subscribe to. It's an online magazine, but it says if you operate a medical practice, you should be outsourcing. This is one of the article titles. When it comes to outsourcing for your medical practice, whether it's for IT management, billing processes, etc., the benefits are obvious, it says. It not only frees up your employees' time to work on the tasks they were hired for, but it also unkinks your cash flow. Hey, Eric, think about it. People don't realize it, but you don't really have to go in and tell people they're going to lose their job. If you take over the billing and somebody in the office is doing it, of course, aren't there other things that they could be doing?
Oh, sure. I mean, there's a lot of different opportunities to help increase getting more patients from the front to the back and expediting a lot of that. So there's a lot of performance improvement that can be freed up whenever, they get that medical practice and medical billing part of it out of their practice.
Yeah, because that's the part that they haven't been trained to do, for one thing. Most people who work for doctors will agree that they're not the best business people in the world, and so they don't really need to be involved in that. What they need is to be focused on the things that they are good at, which is seeing patients. Here's another great article from Physicians Practice magazine. It says, economic pressures bolster the case for outsourcing billing. Yeah, so this is for doctors. They go to these sites and they read articles like this. Look, it says the greater the economic pressure on a practice, the more viable outsourcing becomes. Well, folks, there's a lot of economic pressure right now for doctors. I mean, they're struggling to stay in business. That's why I wrote the book with Dr. Vicki Ragnar that you showed earlier, Eric, The New Thriving Medical Practice. We show people who run, doctors who run their own practices, how to thrive. And then it says outsourced billing processes should ultimately reduce the cost of collections and maximize revenue, allowing the practice to invest in clinical resources and get better quality results. Now, folks, this is not ABS saying this. This is not Eric saying this. This is not me. This is a fellow who is, again, head of a healthcare Symmetrics, navigating healthcare Symmetrics. Okay, let's look at some other real quick quotes here. BlackBookRankings.com says 89% of all physician practices agree that their billing and collection systems need upgrading. Boy, we find that out on a daily basis, don't we, Eric?
Yeah, you bet.
They certainly need upgrading, because some of them are, I know you're going to find this hard to believe, folks, but some of them are using paper. That's right. They still file claims on paper. And here we are in the 21st century. Industry experts have found that the average number of rejected claims for a medical practice averages around 34%. Now, you guys probably wrap your brains around it enough to understand that doctors have to bill the insurance companies and the government agencies like Medicare to get paid, right? Because there's very few people who actually just pay for all of their medical care. They have insurance, or they're covered by Medicare. So if the rejection rate when they send those claims in from a doctor are around 34%, Eric, that's a lot of money left on the table, isn't it?
That's if you flip it, you're only thinking that the doctor is only getting paid anywhere from 65% to 70% of their money. So that's quite a bit of money left out there.
Yeah. And with our system, folks, just so you know, the comparison is you can reduce that for a doctor, that rejection rate, through our system, our cloud-based system, down to less than 2%. And that just means more money in the doctor's pocket, which is a good thing. Hey, if you can't sell money, then you can't sell anything. And I tell people there's no selling here. You can't sell a doctor anything. He will buy it from you, though. He'll invest in what you have if you can just show him the return on investment. If he invests $1,000 to get started with you and he gets another $1,000 a month for the rest of his life because you can increase his revenue by $1,000, that's a win for everybody. And look at this quote here from the American Academy of Professional Coders. On average, 50% of denied claims are never resubmitted. So of those 34% that we just saw that are denied those claims, they just come back and get lost in the system, or if it's paper-based, of course, it gets lost in a file somewhere. 50% of those, Eric, they don't even, well, they're just too busy, I guess. Isn't that the reason? He's probably muted himself and doesn't realize it.
There we go. I had to cough there for a second, but yes, you're right. It could be because of their software that they have, and there is other things that are involved in there that they just get overwhelmed.
Yeah, they just don't have the time and the personnel to handle it. Now look at this. This is from a doctor, Dr. Vern Sharon Wattenko, best-selling author and practicing family physician. I hope I said that right. He says to get paid by the insurance company, I have to pay about $20 in administrative fees to collect it. Between the person that bills, he's talking about his own internal people, the computer system, the ongoing support, the software upgrades, blah, 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 the IT support, $20 a claim. Now, Eric, we can show people, of course, that are on here that they'll be able to do that billing for the doctors at a small not $20 per claim, but probably $5 or $6. And that makes a huge difference in that doctor's revenue for what he puts out.
You bet.
And then look at this New England Journal of Medicine. Market analysts estimate that 24 cents out of every dollar are wasted on administrative and billing expenses. again, folks, we can get that down to, let's say you charge the doctor 6 or 7% of what you collect for him or her. That's better than 24%. And Eric, I just showed this today, you know, in our meeting. And look at this, guys. This is a research from Medscape Lifestyle Report back in 2017. So last year, here are the reasons why doctors are getting burned out. Too many bureaucratic tasks. Isn't that what we take away from them, Eric? At least all the billing stuff. That's a big bureaucratic mess. Spending too many hours at work. Again, we don't have to do that. We can reduce that time that they have to spend on this kind of thing by doing it for them. Feeling like a cog in a wheel, increasing computerization of practices, income not high enough. We can certainly solve that. Anyway, a lot of insurance issues, we solve about 90% of all the problems that are here. And doctors love it when we point that out to them. One of the ways we do that is through a book that you will have as a licensee, as a marketing tool that I wrote with Dr. Vicki Ratner, the new thriving medical practice we mentioned earlier. And look, it's all marked up there. We highlight some things, we put little tabs, and we show you how to hand that to a doctor or mail it to a doctor. And when they just read the quotes we've marked, they're sold, aren't they, Eric?
Right, you bet. I mean, it's a huge help to be able to help shortcut, because you know we're trying to market to the most fast-paced person in the whole office, the one that's the busiest, and that's to the doctors. So making shortcuts like this is incredible.
Yeah, how to get in front of the doctor is what we're talking about here, and we use that book, which I'll talk a little bit more about a little bit later as well. Okay, so why do doctors need your help? Look, it boils down to this. Why do they need our private label software called iClaim and EMRX? It's because of all the benefits and advantages that we have for doctors here. This is part of what you'll cover with doctors and what you're trained to talk to them about. So if this looks overwhelming right now, just believe me, every one of those little points that you see there, you learn about that in our live training workshop and on our webinars that we continually hold for licensees on a regular basis. And you will be, in fact, after they get through the week of training, Eric, I'd say they know more than, 95% of all the office managers about this kind of stuff. Yeah. All of our systems, by the way, have gone through rigorous testing and certification and verification by a lot of different organizations that are out there. We'll teach you more about this, of course, as you become a licensee, but just trust us, we have got a system that just blows the doctors away. Eric, why don't you explain this chart here? Because one of the things they get is our advantage there.
Yeah, the advantage that we have that's over any other softwares out there is that we remove the middleman between software and the insurance company. And that's called the clearinghouse. The clearinghouse is the part that actually does the translation from a software over to the payers. And because we've been able to have that actually hosted within inside of our iClaim platform, this gives us a huge advantage. And the advantages, Patrick, is that instead of the doctors being paid within 30 or 60 days, it's down to 7 to 10 days. And instead of getting that 60 to 70% money, we're at 98% of the money getting that back to the doctors, because we're not only the software platform to actually process the claim, we're also the clearinghouse, which helps us with all of that. And I'm sure you're going to be talking about this, but we can actually demonstrate that for you as a prospect looking into getting even here with ABS.
Yes, we'll show you the system, folks. Since it's an online system, we have to set up a go-to meeting with you, similar to what we're using today, and you're actually seeing us logging in live through the internet, just like you would if you were using the software. We'll even let you, play around with it there some and ask us questions about it. We'll answer every question you have about it. And it's not that you're selling the software, it's just that our system is so technologically advanced than what doctors are using now and what's out there that we want to show them, and we do those demos for you live anytime you want to set one up to have a doctor see this. Well, this is kind of an illustration, folks, of all the different services that you can offer. So in addition to iClaim and EMRX, of course, which is our electronic medical record system the doctor uses on their end, you're doing the claims on the iClaim system on our end. Then you have all these other services here that you can offer to the doctor as well. So we'll go through those here in just a second. What are the practice challenges that are out there? Well, they're listed right here. They have practice management, scheduling, and the EHR are not integrated with most offices. They have trouble managing their patient wait times, which we can reduce drastically through our system. And excessive hours are all spent by all the staff, including the doctor, by the way. They spend hours after work sometimes doing eligibility checking, or they don't have an ability to do that at all, sending out patient statements, appointment scheduling and confirmation, pulling records and charts, and new patient data entry. We do all that for them, or give them access to our system so that they can, do it themselves.
You bet.
Am I going too fast here, Eric?
Oh, no, you're doing great.
Okay. I know this is a lot to absorb, folks, but you can watch the recording and kind of rewind it and play it over again. Claims and billing channels. Look what we talked about the denial rate of 34%. Let's say it's 30% on average. Days to payment, typically it's 30 to 45 or more for a doctor's offices. We can get that down as little as 7 days.
Right.
Orphan claims, that's claims that they forget completely about. We told you earlier, 50% of them don't get resubmitted. We can even do that, and still only maybe 15% of the revenue leakage is there. Coding changes and update costs, all of that's covered inside of our system because it's a cloud-based system. And there's lack of transparency and integration for most doctors in their offices. Eric, isn't that a big problem for doctors really to be able to see what's going on?
Yeah, for most doctors, if they've got it outsourced, or even if they've got someone in the office, they still don't have what you would consider to be 100% transparency. And our iClaim platform actually gives that power back to the doctor without interrupting the billing process. So that is a crucial part for the doctors to understand.
Yeah, they can log in. Assuming that you give them the credentials to do that, they can log into the system anytime they want from anywhere in the world, anything that has an internet connection to it, even an iPhone. They can log in and see the status of their claims, their next appointments that are coming up. It's all totally made for the 21st century.
Yes.
Now, iClaim itself, folks, is the billing system. So we have a flyer, of course, that you'll use in the marketing that talks about it and gives all the advantages of them having access to the same system that you, the biller, is having. You see, most medical billing companies, if they outsource it, they don't give them access. They don't want them to have access. You can give them just access to just the parts of the system that you want them to have access to. For example, the patient scheduling system, the reporting, those are the types of things you can give them access to. So iClaim, folks, is very unique in that we're the only one that has the clearinghouse built in. And that's why we get that rejection rate so far down. They also have challenges with electronic health records, or sometimes referred to as electronic medical records. According to the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, this is CMS, that is Medicare, the average cost to adopt, implement, and upgrade their health information technology is $54,000 per full-time equivalent physician, while the annual maintenance costs average $10,000 per physician. Eric, we've kind of blown that model out of the water, haven't we?
Yeah, absolutely. I've heard some of the licensees that got the doctors to switch from their current EMR system over to our EMRX simply because there was going to be a $40,000 upgrade fee for that particular EMR system that they were currently on.
Yeah, it's just incredible what some of those software companies can charge. And as I said earlier, folks, you can get the doctor involved, all set up with all the patient, everything involved in this for less than $1,000. And this is incredible. Doctors can't wrap their brain around this because they're so used to seeing these kinds of figures when they talk about electronic medical records. This one, of course, talks about that. There's all those upfront and recurring costs involved in having an EMR. There's a lack of integration with the practice management and billing. There's cumbersome charting and record sharing. There's lack of documentation during the audits, over and under coding, lab integration, that is missing lab results. We take care of all that. Our system solves all of these things, folks. So again, you have a flyer that talks about the EMRX. These flyers, by the way, they rearrange them so that you have your contact information at the bottom with your logo and so forth. So they're very personalized, and they're wonderful summations of what EMRX has. You'll see these on our website. If you don't find them, get back with the person who gave you the link to this webinar and just ask them you'd like to see these flyers. The great thing, folks, is that the EMRX is what the doctor uses on their end. They usually use an iPad or tablet of some kind. Anything can be used to access it. And while they're seeing the patient, they're looking right there at that little screen. Now, I have an iPad Pro here that I'm actually watching the webinar on. I don't know what that shows up like, but this one's a bigger screen, but it can be used, any type tablet could be used for this. Eric, you show the demos of this, and doctors are pretty impressed when they see it, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. A lot of times the doctors don't even want to see the EMR side of it until we've shown them the iClaim side of it. And once they see that there is a huge difference, it's easy to start showing them that. I've had that happen more than 70% of the time that I've actually done a demo.
Wow. Yeah, and folks, we do those demos for you at no cost. I mean, that's a part of your licensing fee forever. We've been doing this demos for what, 4 or 5 years now, Eric, and we've gotten the close ratio down to about half. So half of the doctors that we show these demos to engage with our licensees. That's why the marketing of this is very simple, folks. Give the doctors the book that educates them a little bit, and then encourage them to see the demo. And once you've done that, it's a done deal.
Yeah, you bet.
Here's a great problem that we solve also, patient AR. Yeah, the accounts receivable. Well, you folks on the webinar know that sometimes you get a medical bill and it doesn't necessarily go to the top of the stack, does it, Eric?
Right. Yeah.
But these are the problems that they're facing here. As you can see, high deductible plans are excavating leaks. Practice owners want flexibility and control, and the lack of automated and configurable payment. All that means, folks, is that you need a solution that's cloud-based, that's high-tech, and that the patients love. And I got to read this quote here at the bottom from McKinsey & Company, because get this, Eric, physicians typically collect only about 50% of their outstanding patient balances, resulting in almost $60 billion in bad debt annually.
Yeah.
If this were a typical business, they wouldn't let that.
No, you can't do that.
You can't let your outstandings get that high. And folks, we can reduce that. Let's see, typically collect only about 50%. Okay, we can increase that to 98%. 98% of their outstanding debt we can collect with our system. One of the systems that we use is called Choice Pay. A lot of practices have a hard time collecting from the front end from the patients. So this gives patients a choice in when to pay, how to pay, what to pay, all kinds of stuff. And it's all built into our patient payment portal that we've got there as a part of our system as well. Eric, I didn't know what else to say about Choice Pay. It's a great system to have, but it's kind of hard to explain until people actually see it, isn't it?
Yeah, and actually, it can be a standalone, or it can, and I know that it works in iClaim as well as a part of the billing part of it too as well. So there's actually two parts of that can be, if you think just standalone, just getting automatic payments through there, or it can be actually implemented into the iClaim platform.
Right. Then there's another service that you'll be able to offer. Now, folks, all of these are optional, of course. You decide whether you want to offer any one of these services, but here's another one, Quick Collect. This can replace the need for a collection agency, folks. This goes after the money that's like, 45, 60 days. I mean, it's bad money, right? The doctor normally just writes this off, don't they, Eric?
They basically just write that money off, that's for sure.
Yeah. But this can collect up to 41% of all the outstanding patient balances. Now, folks, if that doesn't sound high to you, compare that to a typical collection agency. They only collect 14%.
That's right.
The way I remember those, Eric, is those are the two numbers are just reversed, 14 and 41%. So we collect a whole lot more is what we're saying. And no, you're not going to have to make any phone calls. That's all done completely automated in our cloud-based system. Oh, there's a lot of problems doctors have. Look, coding and audit pressure. Yeah, they're constantly getting new codes that they got to keep up with. The documentation that the doctor has must match the code or they won't get paid. That's one of the problems. Audits from the government and commercial payers can fine the doctor thousands of dollars if they find that they haven't been coding correctly. And they're subject to that audit at any time. It leads to undercoding leaks as well. What I mean by that, folks, is the doctor's afraid of overcoding, because if they've coded for a visit that was only 5 minutes and they coded it that it was a 20-minute visit, let's say, then they get in trouble for that. They'll get fined. But they can undercode as well, can't they, Eric? They can be scared of those audits and say, "Ooh, I'm not going to charge at this level."
Right.
They should be. and we can solve that and increase their revenue there by up to 30%. Look at this, Eric. I just found this. This is an update summary of the change summary. This is the number of codes that they have in 2017. Oops, I went backwards there. 2017. There it is. And another 3,500 codes were added. 1,800 revised titles, and the deleted codes were 646. So they went from 75,000 codes to 78,000 codes just in one update to the what they call the ICD-9 codes to the 10s. Anyway, we have a service that you can offer to the doctor that actually opens up a huge market for you as a licensee, because our certified professional coders do everything for you. That's right. You don't have to be a coder. You don't have to learn coding or know anything about it. The doctor provides you the codes, and if they're not sure, our certified professional coders can look at the charts. They're securely scanned in to a coder's work queue here at ABS for coding, and then we return that back to the doctor along with some great reports.
You bet.
Okay, I'm just trying to get through as many of these as I can. I hope this has been useful to you folks. Hey, you can use the question box if you want to make some comments to us about what we're covering here, or ask a question if it has something to do with what we're covering. Oh, there's one of the report screens that I wanted to show you, but I actually skipped this one, didn't I? Audit Guard. This is another service that you can offer to the practices out there. Every doctor that sees Medicare patients is under the microscope from Medicare about those codes, and our certified professional coders will review them all and provide a report, something like this one that you see here. And the doctors love this, don't they, Eric? They feel very comfortable that they have at least done their due diligence to try to make sure that they don't get audited and fined for all that.
And if I may interject here, our EMRX platform actually does the coding for the doctor. So the two things that Patrick just shared with you, the Code Write and the Audit Guard, are for doctors that have been still doing a lot of their coding by paper and some of these other things. But if we can get them back on the EMRX part of it, this takes care of a lot of that trouble. So that's why you don't really need a coding background, because either you have the service of our certified professional coders, or you're using EMRX to be able to help the doctors code their own stuff properly.
Yeah, I know that's hard to wrap your brain around, folks, but when the doctor is using that on his tablet or iPad, and he's put in what he found wrong with the patient, our system suggests the codes that would be appropriate for that.
Right.
And sometimes they're shocked by the fact that they could be coding it, like I said, much higher and increase their revenue by safely coding that particular visit. Then there's compliance concerns that doctors have. A fact, HIPAA violations. That's the health insurance, basically the act that basically protects the patient data. Violations can cost a practice anywhere from $100,000 to $50,000 per violation, and up to $1.5 million per year. Eric, that sounds like a lot to the average person, knowing that doctors, some of them make $300,000, $400,000, $1,000 a year. That is not. It's not like, but it is more than a slap on the hand, isn't it?
Well, I think we've all experienced it. We've gone to the doctor. We've seen other patients' charts that are just sitting out there, and that is a compliancy issue. And with the with the HIPAA, which is the Health Information Privacy Accountability Act, that's what we're talking about here. And so these are some of the things that we can actually help out, and you would be able to help out as being a licensee here at ABS.
Yes, in fact, there's a lot of concern about this out there, because a survey was done, and 70% of covered entities, that means medical practices who qualify under this, are not compliant. Eric, let that sink in for a second. How many doctors need help with this? Look at some of the fines, for example, last year. These are just a few of the fines that were for doctors. So we have another service called Compliancy Guard that is a simple cloud-based solution for HIPAA, high-tech, omnibus, GLG, and PCI compliance. I don't even know what all this means. Anyway, the point is, folks, there's a lot of government agencies that can come down on the doctor, and we can save them huge fines for that. It provides ongoing training, by the way, for any new people that come into the office and any new regulations or laws that come down as well. So great service. Eric, you could walk in a doctor's office and not even talk about medical billing. You could just talk to them and say you want to talk to their compliancy officer.
You bet.
See how that goes over.
I'm glad you brought that up, because obviously one of the things we're going to teach you how to do is not walk into a doctor's office and say, hey, I'm a medical billing company. So you can see a little bit of what we've been able to share with you already.
Yeah, that's right. And then, of course, one problem that people don't realize, doctors do have a problem with retention and marketing. You know, if they never did any marketing or got new clients, new patients, they would eventually go out of practice, because people move and people change doctors, and you know, they just don't have the time for marketing the practice. In fact, some of them think, ooh, marketing, I'm not supposed to do that. Yes, doctors can market their practice if they do it professionally and the way we teach our licensees to help them. We can help them obtain new patients. We can show patient appreciation, and we can even social media and reputation management is involved in all this as well, because if you keep the patients happy, they're not going to go out there and post those bad reviews for you.
Right.
You know, there's a million sites now that you can rate doctors and do reviews for doctors, you know.
Yeah.
Plus, they have lost staff hours on appointment reminders and patient engagement. Folks, you have another service you can offer to doctors that solves all this too. It's a cloud-based customer relationship manager. That's right. You put all the data of all the doctors that you run across or find out there in networking and so forth. You put that in here, and this keeps those names and addresses in this online system that has over 18,000 pre-designed cards. Yes, greeting cards, postcards. They're actually printed, and you know, postage is put on them, and they're dropped in the mail for you automatically, folks. This is an online system. You don't do anything. But once you see that you can set up automatic follow-up, this is great for your own prospective clients, and you can offer it to practices that you'll manage it for them, or just give them a do-it-yourself version for their patient well care follow-up. I know I'm talking too much, Eric, but I'm just pausing here every once in a while. If you want to jump in, man, you got to take it fast.
Well, I'm actually monitoring and making sure if there's any particular questions that are coming up, and some of them I'm just answering right directly. So let's keep going. I'm kind of monitoring everything here.
Good. All right, let's talk about document management in a doctor's office. There's lots of time, folks, wasted filing and retrieving paper. So what we're talking about here is eliminating the need for paper. That's right. We're moving the doctor completely, totally paperless. Now, if they have an electronic medical record system, they're probably scanning documents in and so forth to that. And you can do that, of course, with ours. But there are doctors who still have, and you've seen them, file cabinets galore, and sometimes extra rooms full of file cabinets, because they have to keep those records for patients up to like 7 years in most states. And it's very expensive. Eric, the square footage cost in a doctor's office has to be, you know, a lot of money, and they're using it for storing paper. Now, folks, you have another service you can offer then that solves this one as well. It's called iDocs Now. It provides a cloud-based document management system that's 100% HIPAA secured. Remember, the government's kind of approved this, that it's secure. And it guards against loss and allows multiple users to access any doctor from anywhere. Eric, I have this, of course, you know, at our office. I use it for all of our papers. And if people come and they don't find any file cabinets because we don't have any, because everything's scanned in instantly to this system that I can log into that system, by the way, from any device. Yeah, that's right. Computer, iPads, phones, tablets, anything. I can actually access any document. I can mark it up. I can email it. I can print it. It's just an amazing way to run your business. And when we show this to doctors, by the way, it blows them away. They can't even believe that they could get rid of all that and maybe open up a room for, you know, seeing more patients.
You know, I actually expressed this to our personal physician, who still does all of her charting on paper. And the doctor's not too eager to go to EMRX or EMR anything right now. But I did ask the office manager, I said, what would happen if you did have a flood or you had a fire? She goes, I have never thought about that. We would lose all of our records. I said, every record that you have on every your patients. So this is a solution for doctors for that.
Yeah, Eric, I think of the fires out in California. I think of Katrina a few years back.
Yep.
All
Yep.
of those doctors' offices lost all of their records.
Yep.
There were businesses that were booming businesses that went out of business. Why? Because all their records were just wiped out. Now, had they had iDocs now, they could have gone to any other computer anywhere in the world, downloaded the program, logged in, and boom, they have access to all of their data. It's all right there still. All right, let's just talk just for a moment here because we're about halfway through. I want to talk just for a moment about what you get for your investment because Eric, we don't talk about this a whole lot because we're not trying to sell anything on these webinars. We're
Right.
just trying to educate people, but we do have a licensing fee, kind of like a franchise fee of $27,000. So what is it that you get for that, folks? Well, first of all, you get a totally integrated system that's been proven to work for our licensees now for many, many years, including the iClaim practice management system, the clearinghouse that's built into it, of course, the EMRX, and we haven't talked a whole lot about the patient portal, but Eric,
Right.
this is a great way for patients to maintain all of their records online, make appointments, keep up with all their medications and prescriptions, and it has built into it something very special. You want to tell them about e-visits?
Sure. Well, it's what's called an e-visit, or what's known in the medical world, telemedicine. And for any of you folks that are entrepreneurs out there, you can find a business opportunity just to do telemedicine, but that's all you can do. Ours is actually built inside of our EMRX platform that you can have the doctor, just like Patrick and I are doing right now with our videos. Imagine that Patrick's the doctor and I'm the patient. We can have this conversation, and that's what's called telemedicine. So that's what's occurring all the time right now.
Yes, and it's built into our patient portal so the patient can actually go in, set the appointment, and so forth. If that particular doctor is using it, some doctors are moving that direction, and some are still back in the old days.
Yes.
I think, Eric, there's some percentage of visits to doctors' offices that do not require a physical presence. In other words, the doctor never touches you, they never look at you. Basically, it's just to talk with them about some stuff, and that can all be done through the technology that we have available nowadays, folks.
Right.
Okay, let's see what else I got here. Somewhere I got lost in the slides. There we go. Okay, here we go. I'm sorry, I'm getting there.
I think you're about to show all of the different slides about all the different marketing pieces there that you're about to show.
Yes, and you know what, folks, we have spent a lot of money on the marketing materials. You get over 2,000 pieces of marketing material that can be personalized, of course. Again, we print your name and logo on there. And Eric, we've spent the time to make these all look like they're a part of a franchise. In other words, you'll notice that ABS is nowhere on any of this literature. In fact, you never mention our company name because we're the ones that put you in business and support you, right, and train you on ongoing training. But it has nothing to do with us. So you're going to establish your own company. We go through the details as to how to do that in our training. You'll set up a company, you'll get a logo, you get some business cards, and boom, you're in business because you've got all the literature already created there. This will save you thousands of dollars, folks, and lots of time. You also get, of course, our live training workshop. Now, we've talked about this before, but folks, I can't emphasize the importance of live training. There are companies out there, sorry, I'm going ahead here before I realized. There's companies out there that say, all your training is done, with a coach over the phone or something like that. And you know what? That's not the way to learn. Besides, you're not going to sit and just listen to somebody read a script to you over the phone for hours at a time. But to get involved with other people that are also starting their own business, there's nothing better from a support standpoint than to have people, that you've met and bonded with for a week. And it's not just lecture either. This is a workshop, integrated workshop. I mean, hands-on stuff, isn't it, Eric?
Yes, a lot of, and that's why we have these is because we feel that you really need that hands-on working, because Patrick, we're going to take them through how to complete a contract and how to actually price properly, and you really just can't get that over a telephone call or even over a go-to meeting.
No, you can't. You're right. That's the kind of thing that you need to be there. You want to ask the questions that are pertinent to the instructor. And I'll tell you a little bit more about their instructor later, but she is a licensee who's been in business with us for now 10 years as a licensee and has built a huge business. And you're going to get to learn and ask questions directly from her. Her name is Cynthia Anderson. Now, we will also position you as part of what we teach you about marketing as the subject matter expert. Folks, there's nothing more important than you come across credible to your prospective clients. Now, if you're just starting your own medical billing business on your own, that would be hard to do because you don't have the support and the tools that we offer you. But with us, we're going to position you as the expert. We also provide, like I said, the online marketing auto card system that allows you to do follow-up marketing automated, so you don't have to think about that. Oh, I think I skipped another slide there. Okay, I wanted to show and talk a little bit about sales reps. Eric, why don't you tell them why they might want to use sales reps if they're...
Sure. Yeah, you know, folks, some of you may just be a little unnerved by actually having to go out there and market yourself, but we've known and we've come to know that there are a lot of folks, you know, independent sales reps out there that actually have contacts with doctors. And so if you find this to be helpful for you, we're actually going to show you how to find those folks, interview those folks, hire, train, pay those folks. We actually have slides and a full integrated training mechanism that's on what's our ABS licensee support site. And that's a secured site for our licensees. That site actually has all of what we're talking about here, and that might just help bolster you right into the medical billing. And folks, another good advantage of having and working with sales reps is that you may be living in one little small community, podunk town, USA, and you may end up getting a doctor in Texas or California or Florida. So it might be very advantageous to actually work with sales reps, and we're going to show you how to do that in our training workshop.
Yeah, you can have sales reps in every major city if you want to work that hard and get that many clients, because folks, it's very easy to do the billing for a doctor anywhere in the entire United States. That's your territory.
Yep.
Now, if you're wondering exactly what you do, Eric mentioned earlier, we don't send you in door to door calling on doctors. That's not the way you do it. We build credibility with our tools. Then one of the things that we do before we give them the live demo is what's called a practice analysis. Now, this thing has grown now, Eric, to 4 pages of great information that you need to collect from the doctor's office. Now, folks, this is the kind of thing that will help you show them from their own figures how you're going to save them or make them more money.
Yep.
And so the way we do that, of course, is what's called a revenue report that you're then going to come back to the doctor with and show them in real time from their own figures compared with what we would charge them, how much money you can increase. I'm going to enlarge this so you can see this up close, folks, but this is exactly what the doctor does. They do what you just did. Yeah, they look right down there at that bottom line, don't they, Eric?
You bet they do.
Now, this is a real one, as you saw from the previous slide there. It's redacted, of course, but this is one that one of our licensees sent in. And this particular doctor was doing a nice volume of claims, and they were collecting about $150,000, you see, each month. But we're going to increase that to $177,000. Why? Because one of the things we're reducing that rejection rate from what have they got, 18% down to 2%. And then all the other savings that we've eliminated up here for costs brings them down to another $26,000 a month. Eric, I don't think I'd sneeze at that if I were a doctor, would you?
No, and that's including all the costs it is to actually do the billing. So that's the actual money going back to the doctor. It's not the money minus what you're going to be doing for the doctor. For the billing. This is actually the back money that they're going to be getting based upon what they're currently doing and what you could be doing.
That's right. Now, there's a real important figure there for you to glance at. It's right under projected, and it's the third figure. This is the total monthly cost of outsourcing. So see, this is figured in. This is what the doctor's going to pay you to do the billing.
Yeah.
It's $12,945 a month. However, they still increase their revenue, as you can see, by $31,000. So it's a win-win for everybody. All right. Now, if you're wondering how you present this, you bring that back in one of our nice folders. We have a nice big, very classy folder that you put it in. Here it is on the right side, open here, has some pockets in there and a place for your business card. And folks, we have the proposals already in what's called template form, and the template. You can open these up in Word, change them to adapt for that particular doctor, and then take back, sometimes these are what, 7 or 8 pages, I guess, Eric,
Right.
in length, and they detail exactly what you want to do for the doctor. Now remember, all those services that we talked about, you can include those in here or not include them. That's up to you. I mean, you got to do at least the billing, right? And
Yes, you're right.
maybe the EMRX, but all those others are optional, but you can put those in here. Again, our templates include everything, and you just delete the sections that you don't want in the proposal. It's a beautiful way of doing it. Folks, we'll also teach you in the marketing section how to do lunch and learns. Now, these are not near as scary as it looks here. Basically, we can have people do these for you using virtual technology like we're using right now, but we have all the slides already worked up. We'll show you how to put these things together, have them sponsored by different hospitals and things that'll bring the office managers and the doctors in here. I'll give you a hint. One of the ways you get them in there is with food.
That's right.
They're called lunch and learn, and it's a great way for them just to come, have a meal on you. You know, you could spend it. This is a big crowd shown here, but usually it's a doctor's office with half a dozen people. You provide sandwiches or salads or pizza or whatever. It doesn't cost that much, and yet it gets you in the door. It's a wonderful way to instantly get out there and get your story told. If you tell it enough times, believe me, there's offices who will go, yes, we need to look into this, Dr. Smith. In fact, office managers will recommend that the doctor look into it more.
You bet.
We have trade show booths already designed. We've spent thousands of dollars on a full booth on the left there that stands on the floor, as you can see. And on the right side, that's a tabletop one. You just basically pay the shipping to get these out to you. We loan them to you at no cost. Anytime you want to do these, Eric, these are out a lot. I mean, we see a lot of licensees doing these trade shows. They're wonderful, aren't they? You've done some.
You bet. And I tell you, that's the best thing is have either a doctor or someone in their staff. They're walking up to you, you start engaging and talking with them, and you really find out, you know, some of the problems that you already kind of know some of these issues. So you're just basically getting that information, collecting that information. You talk about a great warm reception there whenever at least you've got, when you make that call back and say, hey, I saw you at the trade show. I'm just doing my follow-up with you. You bet. This is a great way to do it.
Yeah, you can have a drawing for the book that we showed you earlier. A lot of people fill out the information for that, and then you have a reason to go back to their office and see them or mail it to them. It's just a wonderful way. Now, here's the biggest thing that we've added just recently, Eric, that a lot of people have not really wrapped their brain around, and that is that we're going to partner you in this business with a doctor. That's right. We've already been engaged with Dr. Vicki Rackner now for about 3 years. She has been interviewed on all the different TV and radio shows that you see here, and also magazine articles and so forth. And she's a prolific author, has several books that are out there you can find on Amazon.com. And her latest book, by the way, is this one, The Myth of the Rich Doctor. Look at this quote, Eric, from this book. Physicians in private practice are away from an average of 30%, walk away is what that's supposed to say, from an average of 30% of their incomes when they don't follow up on rejected insurance claims. We just talked about that. But here's a doctor in her book saying that to another doctor that you give this book to. See, it's a marketing tool. Outsourcing your medical billing, she says, could bring claim rejection rates to as low as 2 to 5%. This may be the fastest and easiest way to increase your cash flow. There it is, Eric. Yep. It doesn't get any more authentic and official than that.
Right, from a doctor.
Yeah, from a doctor.
She knows it.
Yeah. Now, before I talk about these two books, let me say one other thing. We also have a letter now that Dr. Vicki just wrote for our licensees, an introductory letter. You can stick it in that proposal along with your other papers, and they see a letter on her letterhead introducing you and the book that you see there on the right. The one on the left is an ebook, by the way, but these all can be branded. You see your name down at the bottom, Sue Smith, there's your name right there. And as you can see, we've already put the CMRM designation that you'll get at the end of the training, Certified Medical Revenue Manager. So your contact information is also inside the book at the end of the foreword. So you have something to point to there in the book that has Eric, this is probably the most ingenious marketing thing that our staff has ever come up with. It's a wonderful tool. Yeah, it builds huge credibility.
It's better than leaving just a business card or anything else. It truly is something with some credibility behind it.
Yeah, the one on the right, by the way, it is a real book. I have one here I usually show, but you can go to Amazon and look that one up. It's $24.95 retail. Folks, you buy these books from us. Now, a selection of them are included in the purchase of your package from us, the licensing fee. But as you reorder them, they're only $4. That's our printing cost on a paperback book. Some people are shocked by that, Eric. That's as cheap, like you said, a marketing tool as you could find anywhere.
You bet.
Well,
Absolutely.
we kind of got through that pretty quick, didn't we?
Yep.
Are there, let's see, I want to talk about a couple of other things, Eric, but I also want you to, and tell me if you see questions that you want to, ask from.
Actually, I'm helping answer some of these right as we're going through this. So if you kind of see me pause, I'm just chatting away with some of these folks here. So just helping out with some.
So folks, if you type in a question, we are going to answer that question either by replying to you right in the question box there, or if it's something that we can share with the entire audience, we'll do that. Now, let's talk about due diligence, folks, because whether I've sold you on this being a good business to get into or not, it doesn't matter. You need to do your own due diligence on the business, us, the marketplace, your competition, all of those things. I'm going to touch on just a few things here that you can do and questions you should be asking. One of the major questions you should ask anybody before you get into business with them is, what kind of support can I expect? Now, folks, this is an actual photograph of our technology partner that does the support on our software. As you can see, there's lots of people involved in this business. And the great thing is that we do this support for life. That is, as long as you're an ABS licensee running any claims through our system, you have access to our support department at no cost whatsoever, ever. Now, be careful. Yeah, right. There is a company that will teach you how to do medical billing, but they're going to charge you a monthly fee after the first year or two. So that's not what we don't want to nickel and dime people to death. I said at one point, let's just give them lifetime support, because as long as they're doing business, we're making money on the back end, a few pennies on each one of those claims that go through. So, why not give them support forever? We also have a tremendous tool here, Eric, called the licensee support site. And I don't know if this is going to work or not, but I'm sure going to try it here. I think I can switch to it. It's loading up. Here it is. This is our site live, Eric, live.
Yep. There you go. And folks,
look at this. Folks, there's so much data here, so many tools, so many videos, so many documents. It's just incredible. Because folks, you go to the news section, you'll see, look, it's logging me in. I forgot I have okay.
There you go.
Here's some of the stuff that we've posted. In fact, there's one that we just posted today. Look at that, July 25th. But if you go back in the archives here, you'll see this goes way, way, way back to October of 2014 when we started this site. So it's gotten more than you could ever. And folks, as soon as you sign up with us, we're going to ship you all your marketing materials and some books. And you get access to this immediately.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can just browse around there and start learning even before you come to the live workshop. Okay, now I'm going to pause and I'm going to switch back. Did I get back to where I was? I think so. Here it goes.
There you go. Yeah. Just gonna, get down there to, I think, where you got any third-party validation slide.
Yes. Don't know why that's not coming across, but I'm going to change sides and see what happens. That still shows why doctors need your help in the brochures, doesn't it?
Yep. All the flyers there.
Well, then I'll just stop that for a second and start it again. Let's see if this helps. Hey, we don't own this technology. This is owned by go to somebody. Eric, you think that's you don't have that on your screen, do you? How could that be? It says I'm showing them. Let's see if I go to the next slide. No? I have no idea what happened there. Let's see. Can I change presenters maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, it's showing, I believe, all of the slides there, the
Yeah.
flyers there.
Yeah, I see it here on my iPad. Let's do this, Eric. If you could turn off your webcam, I'm going to do the same thing. Let's just see
Okay.
if that solves it. I don't know what's going to happen, but here goes. I'm going to play it again. Now, folks, hang on just a second. It's a technology thing going on. Don't know.
Hit your play button up at the top.
Yeah. It says it's playing, and yet in my little preview, even I see that same slide, the brochures there. Okay. Well, Eric, let me think about that for a second. Do you think that has anything to do with the fact that I could, let me stop this so we can just talk to people. While I'm doing this, Eric, you want to take any of those questions you see there that are pertinent?
Sure. Yeah, I've been answering some questions through here, and someone just said it may be paused and laughing at us here. But anyway, yeah, there are, how much does ABS get from each paid claim? None. There are no franchise fees. There's no royalty fees. We don't even take any percentages of the claim. So, if in general you are just processing your claims, and let's just say that you're collecting anywhere from $3,000 to $3,500 a month per doctor, well, that's your money. That's not ABS's money. We don't ask you for a percentage of that. So, Antoinette, hopefully that helped answer your questions there. How does the current administration dismantling of Obamacare affect the billing industry today? Well, actually, Mario, this is actually a great help for us, because any disruptions in the market, anything that has to do with the issues that have to do with anything with medical billing, that's actually a help for us. So we kind of look for these disruptions in the market, whether it's going into what was the Affordable Care Act, what's coming out of the Affordable Care Act, any of the other issues that might be going along with that. Those are great things for us here at ABS, and for you as an entrepreneur here with ABS. So absolutely, that's a no-brainer for us. We actually kind of like those types of things. I see you got your slide back up. So, Patrick, for some people, they're going to have to get off here in about 2 minutes because we're up at the top of the hour. So let's see if we can get through these last few, and we'll try to take any other questions if we can.
All right, here's another question you should ask. Is there any third-party validation for what you do? Now, folks, I'm showing this book on the right-hand side there, Start Your Own Medical Claims Billing Service, just to give you that validation that this is a real business that a lot of people have validated as being real. It's put out by Entrepreneur Magazine, which is what you're seeing there on the screen as well. So you can go to Amazon, look this book up, and you'll see this quote from the book. The market for medical claims billers is growing exponentially with legions of providers and an ever-expanding patient pool. Healthcare industry spending is expected to grow by 5.8% each year through 2024. By then, healthcare spending will total $5.43 trillion and account for 19.6% of the gross domestic product. Eric, almost 20% of our entire gross domestic product comes from healthcare. That's huge.
That is huge. That's a big number there.
Yeah, so let there be no doubt, healthcare is big business and its growth shows no signs of slowing. This makes it the perfect time to start your own medical claims billing service. And one other thing, Eric, we didn't know this when we bought the book on Amazon. When we got the book, we looked at the back, and there was a page there. I don't know if I have it here or not, but there was a page that actually showed that. Here it is right here. Sorry, it was kind of out of order there. Here it comes. So if you look in the back of the book, folks, you actually see our name listed there along with our phone number and email address there under medical claims software and clearinghouses and business opportunities. I just thought I'd show that, Eric, because that's a big deal to me. It validates that we are for real. And I skipped this slide. I'm going to go back to about third-party validation, because if anybody in your area would know whether or not there has been some complaints, it would be the Better Business Bureau. Go check us out. Just type in Fort Worth Better Business Bureau or American Business Systems, BBB, and you'll find it. And you'll see it's an A+ rating, folks. There's no higher rating. Now, we're not an accredited business. Let me address this, Eric, because somebody asked this on one of our webinars. That just means we haven't joined the BBB. We don't pay the $1,000 a year fee. But why would you when you have an A+ rating? Now, it's not that it's going to change it in any way, but we don't have to be a member, and that's all they mean by accredited. It's a It's just something we didn't decide to do. And we talked about territories. There are none. Folks, this is your territory. It's the whole United States. So you can build this as big as you want or keep it as small as you want to. Ask about certification. What kind of certification do you have? Well, we have a certification, folks, from the Medical Revenue Management Association of America. You can go check out their website at MIRMA.org, and you'll see that you actually are certified by them at the end of that week's training. And you can present that as that's for the doctor. Ask another very important question. Is there a money-back guarantee? Because, folks, we have one, and that's hard to believe, I know, but at the end of the training workshop, for any reason, you don't think this business is right for you, simply tell any staff member, and they'll arrange for you to receive a full refund of your license fee. Eric, you think we'll stay in business doing that?
Not very long. Right.
People have asked me if we are going to be giving refunds to everybody. Folks, the fact is that we have only had a handful of people that we've given the refund to, and that's usually a very personal reason. But the point is that it's there, it's for you. It gives you that peace of mind knowing that you're not going to come down here and not be able to get your money back if you find out it's not what you thought it was. Now, anything else that doesn't have a guarantee like that, if you order something, they ship it to you, and you've got it, you've paid for it, it's done, it's a done deal.
Yeah.
Oh, and you should ask about how much training you'll get, because not only do we have live training, which is we've tried to emphasize how important that is, but we bring in the laptops that you see there. That's not those folks' laptops. That's ours. We bring in and set up. And first day, you're actually doing medical billing. Plus, we also do ongoing training. Eric, we had a licensing webinar last Friday. I think we're having one next Friday. So 2 or 3 times a month, we're doing live webinars for licensees. Those are usually on Fridays, but we record those, of course, and post them on that licensee support site that you saw earlier. So, folks, if you're wanting to get into this training, which is September 10th to the 14th, there's our phone number at the bottom of the screen, or you can get back to the person who sent you the email here to this webinar. Eric, we're doing training next week, but I didn't put that up there because if they have already decided to come to that, they're probably not going to get a seat in that one anyway, but it'd be worth asking. If you want in it bad enough, get back with the person who sent you the email and ask them if you can get in next week's class.
Yeah, because Patrick, I'm going to just interject here. Starting, if once passed with this one, we only have 3 trainings left for the entire year. So that's
good point.
Yep.
Yeah, and as you saw from the pictures, folks, they're reasonably small enough for us to answer all the questions and for you to interact and learn everything you need to learn without being overwhelmingly large. You'll be flying into the DFW International Airport between Dallas and Fort Worth. The hotel has a van. They'll pick you up from the airport. The classes are Monday through Thursday, 8 to 5, and Fridays, 8 to 1. That's so you can get out of there and get a flight back home. And we provide all the lunches, of course. But the licensing fee, of course, does not include your travel or hotel. That's extra. Now, having said that, Eric, I know that some people have a lot of miles. They can fly for nothing, or they could drive here if they want to. The hotel, though, is going to cost you about $700 for the entire week's stay. That's 5 nights, which is very reasonable. Folks, that's all you would be investing to find out if this business is for real. Think about it, how little a risk there is in this business compared to a lot of franchises and things you see out there. And I'm going to show a little video here, a little clip at least, part of the testimonials that we get at the end of the live training. So let's see how that works.
As a marketer for many, many years, I have just been overwhelmed with the care and concern for the success of the individuals who attend their presentation and become certified. So we're very grateful, and I hope that you will talk to them, and if you have the opportunity, and participate. Thank you.
This week has been awesome, full of great information. If you guys decide to come out, don't be afraid. Even though I know you'll have some fears, you have so much help, so much support. You'll have so much guidance. I'm very confident, and I'm very appreciative of what ABS has set in place for me. So you guys, don't be afraid to take that leap of faith. You will do fine. Stay positive, and just know that you have their support.
Eric, I'm just going to pause here to point out that these people, of course, came through our last training that we just had, I guess, in June. And some of them, like that young lady that you just heard from, she was very hesitant when she came in the room. And so to hear what she just said, that
Yeah.
was amazing to me, that she changed her thinking completely, because she was a little bit kind of scared and hesitant. As you can see, she's just she's come out of her shell there.
Hello, it's been an awesome week. We had an incredible instructor with passion, very passionate about what she's doing. ABS gives us all the support and all the resources to succeed. All the rest is up to us. We thank you so much for everything. It's an incredible company. Please go for it. Don't hesitate.
I found the training to be really on target for helping a new business owner get started in something brand new. I was hoping I would get that, and I got it exactly, and I could tell I got loads of experience from an individual named Cynthia who's been in the business and suffered the trials and tribulations and gave us all of that information freely. It was just great. It was a long week, it was a hard week, but it was very worthwhile.
My name is Kenneth Beatty, and this week was amazing. It's a little scary getting into it, but once you've seen everything, the company ABS really takes care of you, and it puts you at ease. There's a lot of stuff that you go through, but it's not anything overwhelming, and anyone can handle it. I did it. Thank you.
If you're really considering this to come, you're trying to decide, like I was, like 6 months ago, trying to decide and do the legit, all that stuff, you know, I just say, you just come. Like, I can't tell you how much information I learned, and it was really good. And this is my partner, Noel, and we came together, and he's excited too.
Yes, my name is Noel. I'm super excited. I'm ready to get started. A lot of information, plus a lot more that we're going to get to learn and understand. But I recommend you guys to come, experience this yourself. You guys will learn so much.
So this is my first venture into this industry. Very nervous coming in, very nervous leaving, but happy to be part of the process because I have every tool I need to practice when I get home. And I'm grateful as heck to be part of this organization.
My name's Mary Sarate, and I did a lot of research before I came here, and so I was pretty convinced that I was going to do this, but it's a lot of money to put out, so my intent in coming was I wanted validation. So I got that, and I was a little terrified of marketing, and I brought my partner who's going to be responsible for marketing, but I believe in the product that I am going to market myself. So I think it was a great opportunity. I looked at it as an opportunity, and I think we're all going to do great.